wife emptied my mother's $75,000 savings account while I was caring for her in the hospital. "I'm at a spa weekend," she texted me. I simply replied, "Enjoy yourself." But the bank security footage showed she wasn't alone, and what they were planning with my mother's money was unthinkable. My name is Morgan Caldwell. I'm 43 years old, and until that devastating Friday in October, I believed I was married to someone who shared my values about family and integrity. For 16 years, Miranda and I had built what everyone considered a solid marriage in Newport Beach, California. I worked as a financial consultant. She managed a successful interior design business, and we lived comfortably in a home that reflected both our tastes and ambitions. Everything changed when my mother Eleanor was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in August. At 71, Mom had always been fiercely independent. She'd raised me alone after my father died when I was 12, working double shifts as a hospital administrator to put me through college. The modest savings account she'd built over decades represented her security and legacy. When the diagnosis came, I immediately took extended leave to help coordinate her care. Miranda seemed supportive at first, accompanying me to doctor appointments and helping arrange Mom's hospital stays. The first sign that something was wrong came 3 weeks into Mom's treatment. Miranda had been distant, taking phone calls in private and spending long hours away from home. When I asked about it, she explained she was dealing with a demanding client who required evening consultations. Then came the spa weekend announcement. "I need to decompress," Miranda said on a Thursday evening in early October. "The stress of everything with your mother is overwhelming me. I've booked a wellness retreat in Monterey for the weekend. I was exhausted from spending 12-hour days at the hospital, but I understood her need for self-care." "That sounds perfect. You deserve some time to recharge." "Thank you for understanding," she said, kissing my forehead. "I'll be completely offline. No phones, no distractions, just meditation and healing." Friday morning, I kissed her goodbye and drove straight to the hospital to sit with Mom during her chemotherapy session. The treatment was particularly difficult that day, and I spent hours holding her hand while she drifted in and out of sleep. That afternoon, my phone buzzed with a text from Miranda. "At the spa now. This place is incredible. Miss you." I responded with a heart emoji and turned my attention back to Mom, who was asking me to review her financial documents to ensure everything was in order. "I want to make sure you understand where everything is," she said weakly. "The savings account, the insurance policies, all of it." We spent an hour going through paperwork, with Mom explaining how she'd saved every possible penny to build her $75,000 emergency fund. "It's not much," she said, "but it represents 40 years of careful living." Saturday brought another text from Miranda. "Yoga session was amazing. Feeling so centered." I was glad she was finding peace while I dealt with the emotional weight of watching my mother fight for her life. Sunday afternoon, Miranda returned home looking refreshed and energetic. She hugged me warmly and asked about Mom's condition, listening sympathetically as I described the difficult weekend. "I'm so sorry I wasn't here to help," she said, "but I needed that reset to be a better support system for both of you." Monday morning brought a call that changed everything. If you've ever trusted someone completely only to discover they were planning your destruction, hit subscribe for more stories about betrayal that cuts deeper than you could imagine. "Mr. Caldwell, this is Jasmine Torres from Vanguard Trust Bank. I'm calling about some unusual activity on your mother's savings account." I was in the hospital cafeteria grabbing coffee between Mom's tests. "What kind of unusual activity?" "A complete withdrawal was made on Friday afternoon, $75,000 transferred to an external account. The transaction was processed using online banking with proper authentication." My coffee cup slipped from my hand, crashing to the floor. "That's impossible. My mother has been in the hospital all week. She can't even use her phone properly right now." The withdrawal was initiated from an IP address registered to your home network, sir. The receiving account belongs to someone named Sebastian Cross. Sebastian Cross. I'd never heard that name in my life. Can you email me the transaction details immediately? Of course, sir. Should we freeze the account for potential fraud? Yes, immediately. I drove home with my hands shaking, trying to process what I'd learned. Someone had accessed Mom's account from our house while Miranda was supposedly at a spa retreat. At home, I found Miranda in her office working on design plans. She looked up with a bright smile. How's your mom today? Miranda, we need to talk. Someone withdrew all of Mom's savings on Friday, $75,000. The bank says it came from our internet connection. I watched her face carefully. What I saw was confusion that seemed genuine. That's terrible. Who would do such a thing? Have you called the police? The money was transferred to someone named Sebastian Cross. Do you know that name? No, she said without hesitation. Should I? Either Miranda was an exceptional actress or she was telling the truth. But the evidence was undeniable. The theft had occurred from our home while she was the only one with access. Miranda, I need to ask you directly. Did you take Mom's money? Her shock appeared authentic. Morgan, how could you even ask me that? Your mother is dying and you think I would steal from her? The transaction happened from our house on Friday while you were supposedly at the spa. I was at the spa. Check my credit card statements, my location history, anything you want. That evening, I did exactly that. Miranda's credit card showed charges at Monterey Bay Resort on Friday and Saturday. Her phone's location history confirmed she'd been there all weekend. But something still felt wrong. Tuesday morning, I called the resort directly. I'm trying to reach my wife, Miranda Caldwell. She stayed with you this past weekend. Let me check our records, the receptionist said. After a pause, I don't see any guest by that name this weekend. That's impossible. She has credit card charges from your resort. Sir, our restaurant and spa services are open to day visitors. Someone could have charges without staying overnight. The pieces began forming a disturbing picture. Miranda had created evidence of being at the spa without actually staying there. She could have driven to Monterey, made a few purchases, then returned home to access Mom's account. I needed professional help. Harrison Webb ran Silverstone Investigations, a firm specializing in financial fraud. Within an hour of my call, I was sitting across from him explaining the situation. This pattern suggests premeditation, Harrison said after reviewing the bank documents. Someone planned this carefully to create an alibi. Harrison's digital forensics expert found what we needed within 24 hours. Browser history showed visits to Vanguard Trust Bank's website on Friday afternoon, along with searches for Sebastian Cross and offshore account setup. The trail led to a shocking discovery. Sebastian Cross wasn't just a random name. He was a real person, a 45-year-old investment advisor living in San Diego who had established a business relationship with Miranda 6 months earlier. His recent cash purchase of a luxury condo and large account deposits coincided with Miranda's design projects. Your wife has been planning this for months, Harrison explained. Sebastian appears to be both her business and romantic partner. Your mother's illness created the perfect opportunity. What do you mean? Think about it. Your mother's death would mean inheritance money, but Miranda couldn't wait for natural causes. She needed that $75,000 now to fund whatever she and Sebastian are building together. The realization hit like a physical blow. Miranda hadn't just stolen from my dying mother. She'd been counting on Mom's death to access more money. Wednesday evening, I confronted Miranda with the evidence. I'd printed everything. The digital forensics report, Sebastian Cross's business registration, photographs of them together that Harrison had obtained from Sebastian's social media accounts. I know about Sebastian, I said, spreading the documents across our dining room table. Miranda's mask finally dropped. The warm, supportive wife disappeared, replaced by someone cold and calculating. You hired investigators? That's a violation of privacy, Morgan. You stole from my dying mother. Privacy is the least of our concerns. I didn't steal anything. I borrowed money for a business investment. From a woman who's unconscious in a hospital bed? Miranda stood up, pacing to the window. Your mother is going to die, Morgan. We both know that. The money would come to you eventually anyway. So you decided to take it early? I decided to be practical. Sebastian and I have an opportunity to expand into commercial real estate. The return on investment will be substantial. Sebastian and you? We're business partners, nothing more. I showed her the photographs Harrison had obtained. Miranda and Sebastian at romantic dinners, holding hands on beaches, kissing outside his condo. These say otherwise. Miranda studied the photos without denial or shame. Fine. Sebastian and I are together. Our marriage has been over for years, Morgan. You're emotionally unavailable, completely absorbed in your work and now your mother's illness. So you steal from her? I'm securing our future, all of our futures. There is no our future anymore, Miranda. Don't be dramatic. When your mother passes, you'll inherit everything anyway. This is just advancing the timeline. The casual way she discussed Mom's death, the calculated nature of her theft, the months of planning while pretending to be supportive. It all crystallized into something I could barely comprehend. You're moving out tonight, I said quietly. This is my house too. Not anymore. My lawyer will have papers served tomorrow morning. Thursday brought the legal machinery into motion. Oliver Kane from Sterling Legal Partners filed for divorce and prepared fraud charges against Miranda. The bank's security footage from their main branch showed Miranda and Sebastian together on Friday afternoon, confirming their partnership in the theft. By Friday, Miranda had moved out, taking only her personal belongings. She'd tried to access Mom's account again, but found it frozen. Her calls and texts became increasingly desperate as she realized the money was gone and legal consequences were mounting. That weekend, Sebastian Cross was arrested in San Diego for financial fraud. Under questioning, he revealed the full scope of their operation. Miranda had been siphoning money from her design clients for months, using Sebastian's investment firm to launder the funds. Mom's $75,000 was supposed to be their escape money, funding a permanent move to Costa Rica where Sebastian had already purchased property. Your wife had this planned for over a year, Oliver explained during our Monday meeting. Your mother's illness accelerated the timeline, but the basic framework was already in place. What happens to the money? Sebastian's accounts have been frozen. We should recover most of it, though legal fees will take a portion. And Miranda? She's facing federal charges for wire fraud, elder abuse, and conspiracy. Sebastian is cooperating with prosecutors in exchange for a reduced sentence. Tuesday morning brought the call I'd been dreading. Dr. Victoria Lane from Coastal Memorial Hospital asked me to come in immediately. Mom's condition had deteriorated overnight. I sat beside her bed, holding her hand while she drifted in and out of consciousness. During a lucid moment, she asked about her savings account. Mom, there was a problem with the account, but it's being resolved. What kind of problem? I couldn't tell her that her daughter-in-law had stolen her life savings while she lay dying. Just a banking issue. Everything will be fine. She squeezed my hand weakly. Morgan, I want you to know that money was for you, for your future. I saved every penny thinking about the day you might need it. I know, Mom, you did everything right. Did I give you a good life? Did I teach you the right values? You taught me everything important. Honesty, integrity, putting family first. You were perfect. She smiled peacefully. Then I succeeded. Mom passed away that Thursday evening with me holding her hand. She never learned about Miranda's betrayal or that her life savings had been stolen by someone she'd trusted. The funeral was small but meaningful. Miranda didn't attend. She was in federal custody awaiting trial. 6 months later, the legal proceedings concluded. Miranda received a 3-year federal sentence for elder abuse and financial fraud. Sebastian was sentenced to 5 years. Most of Mom's money was recovered and deposited into an account I established for cancer research in her memory. A year after Mom's death, I received an unexpected letter from Miranda in federal prison. She'd written to apologize and explain her actions, claiming she'd been desperate and made poor decisions under stress. I read the letter once and threw it away. Some betrayals are so profound that explanations become irrelevant. The experience taught me that trust once broken by deliberate cruelty can never be rebuilt. Miranda had counted on my trust and my assumption that she shared my values about family. What she hadn't calculated was that some crimes leave digital trails that can't be erased, and some betrayals create consequences that follow you anywhere. The $75,000 she stole represented 40 years of my mother's sacrifice and love. Taking that from a dying woman revealed a level of moral bankruptcy that no explanation could justify.